Will done.
What a good attacking shot that was from O'Sullivan. Developing numerous reds. It looks as though he's cleared the path to make the pink available as well.
6.
Actually, Jim O'Sullivan trying to protect this evening an unbeaten record so far this season. He's won 12 matches out of 12. 10 of those in the qualifying school at Blackpool. But in the real thing, as it were, here in Dubai, couldn't have asked for better, really. He beat Neal Foulds, the world number 14, 5-0, and then trounced Willie Thorne 5-1.
Wow, that was a much better shot than it looked. He had to stay very still in rolling that in. And he's really got himself into a promising
20.
position here in the fourth frame.
21.
And as you so rightly mentioned earlier, Phil,
28.
if Ronnie could go into the interval at 2 apiece, what a moral
29.
boost that would be for him.
Yes, there's little doubt that he would feel the better of the two.
$36. 37.
Already broken
44.
some break building records in this tournament with a 142 break in the qualifying grounds. That was
45.
the highest break ever made in the 5-year history of the tournament. And what a good chance to make another century.
$52.
Well, the break to 52.
53.
O'Sullivan wastes little time.
$60.
This is a big shot in this fourth frame. Black ball cushion, very difficult.
61.
But made to look easy on that occasion.
$68.
Just this red, and Ebdon will need a snooker.
69.
And in total contrast to the second frame, which took almost 51 minutes, this frame has been in progress 5 minutes.
$76.
And Peter now preparing for his mid-session interval.
77.
He knows there's going to be 2 each. And after having taken the opening 2 frames,
82.
that's not the result he was looking for.
$83.
Ronnie O'Sullivan held the highest break of the final stages with a 134 he made against Willie Thorne. That was broken by Stephen Hendry, who made a 139 during his 5-0 quarter-final victory over John
90.
Birch. But he's already made 90, 51 still on the table.
91.
So a possible 141 available.
$98. $99.
Really has been a tremendous break. Must guard against playing
107.
slightly too fast. Must keep his concentration. £2,000 on offer for the highest break.
113. 115.
Guarding against playing too fast. He plays like it's past his bedtime already.
118. 122.
Perfect on the blue.
127. 133.
Ronnie O'Sullivan is back in line for the £2,000 highest break prize. Stephen Hendry held it with a 139, but O'Sullivan's made a magnificent 140 total clearance. Peter Ebdon 2, Ronnie O'Sullivan 2, and what a cracking match.
Sure was. 6 minutes 20 for the 140 break. O'Sullivan went on to win the next 3 frames as well to take his place in the semi-final. Magnificent to watch it, and it was because he made it look so easy.
It was a very top quality break, yes. I don't think you could see anything better. He was playing quick, but he was playing shots with class, and his positional play was excellent, and really you couldn't fault him on that. It was a super break.
I hate to remind you of it, he knocked you out early on as well. Was it that kind of form?
Yes, I mean, he didn't make any breaks like that, but you see his break building is so good, you really don't see him missing when he's in that kind of form. And I didn't see him missing at all, actually. But it's not only me. I mean, I saw him do it to Willie Thorne in the next round, and he's a real force in the game.
Watch out for him throughout the year. Let's check on the other quarter-final results. There you see Alan McManus getting through against Andy Hicks, but having to come from behind. Steve Davis, the same against Ken Doherty, 4-2 down, but he somehow got through. Peter Ebdon going down to Ronnie O'Sullivan, and last night we saw Stephen Hendry whitewash John Birch in immaculate form. So the semi-final lineup looks like this. Alan McManus against Steve Davis, that's the match we have for you tonight. And then tomorrow, Stephen Hendry against Ronnie O'Sullivan. That's the money they're playing for. In all, £224,000. £40,000 to the winner. They've made $11,250 for getting to the semi-final, and another $11,000 for winning this match. Well, now let's focus on our feature match tonight. Here's a closer look at the 2 players. Steve Davis, now the world number 4, provisional ranking of 3, and wasn't a bad year for him last year. £261,000 worth of prize money. One against the head for the oldest, only 36, but comfortably the oldest man left in. Unparalleled record. There you can see 6 world titles. And the UK Championship winner 6 times as well. 26 ranking events in all. And here's how he made it through to the semi-final. A whitewash against Terry Murphy. Pretty easy against Darren Morgan, but he had it all to do against Ken Doherty. And Alan McManus, 22 years old, 14 years Davis's junior. Just under Davis's prize money for the last year. World number 6, but a provisional ranking of 4 because it was a very good year, 92-93 for him. And there's why. Scottish Masters runner-up to Doherty, Irish Masters runner-up, Welsh Open runner-up, Asian Open runner-up. He needs to change that sequence. That's what's in his mind at the moment. And here's his path. Not easy at all. He's had to come back in all 3 of his matches. 3-1 down against Joe Swale, down against Martin Clark, down 2 against Andy Hicks. And it's a real battle for him today. We've talked about the 2 characters. What about the types of play we're going to see here?
Well, we're going to see all-round games, 2 polished players here with all-round games, more so than the match this afternoon, all-out attack that was. Good safety play, good tactical play. But when a player's in the balls, you expect him to clear up, do the business, and it should be a very interesting game.
On with it then, on with the action. Into frame one, McManus is at the table, there's no score, and your commentators are Willie Thorne and Phil Yates.
Thicker contact than he intended, but doesn't look as though he's left Davis anything easy. Well, the red's pots by the red nearest the top left-hand pocket, but yellow hampering his queuing, and at this early stage of the match, this is quite a difficult pot.
Well, the problem would have been okay if he hadn't have hit the first red, because he wouldn't have left this relatively easy red on for Alan McManus. Of course, he missed the pot by some considerable margin, and that's broke away the red that was obscuring the red he's going to play. Black not available though, so he's still going to have to put a little bit of power into the cue ball unless he decides to run round two cushions for the black into the same pocket. It looks as if he's screwing up for the blue.
1.
Never really got into that at all.
McManus has won the last two meetings between these two. He beat Davis 13-11 in the last 16 of this year's World Championship, and the following month 6-2 in the semi-final of the Matchroom League playoffs.
Seven.
Well, this is a really good opportunity for Alan to score a decent sized break and put a little bit of pressure straight onto Steve Davis. The red he's going to play next will clear the black pocket. So the black pot's in both pockets
14.
now. And the way those reds are split, you can clearly see them on that picture.
15.
It's hard to imagine him not scoring 40 or 50 points here. Not a prolific high break builder, Alan McManus, but very, very consistent and hardly ever misses an easy shot. If Alan McManus misses, it's when he loses position.
22.
You could count on one hand the number of easy shots this man missed last season.
$23.
Certainly took the hard path into the semi-finals. He trailed Joe Swale 3-1 in the first round here, but came back to win 5-3. He then edged out Martin Clark 5-4 in the last 16. And he was given another battle royal in the quarterfinals by Andy Hicks.
$30.
Lots of loose reds there, but Alan decided that to hold the white, it would be better to split a few reds more out into the open. Almost bound to be on one there. He has the choice of two, of course. The one in the middle is playing, or one in the top.
$31.
Of course, sometimes even when the reds are open, it's sometimes beneficial just to spread them a little bit more, to give yourself more room to manoeuvre the cue ball.
35.
Similar situation to before. All reds pot in the right-hand pocket, but unfortunately the angle Alan's got onto the blue. Everything seems to be blocking each other, so he may be forced into playing a cannon again onto the pink and 2 reds, just to hold himself for the middle red of the 5 reds on the left-hand side. The plain ball avenue off the blue is not really getting him anywhere, so could be forced into playing the cannon. There's a little kiss, but he's not hit the pink. He wanted a full ball contact on the pink. He still has a choice of 2 reds into the middle pockets,
41.
one either side. But the kiss pink, of course, would have left him the straight one in the top left-hand pocket. But the way he pots in the middle pockets, I don't expect him to miss either one of these 2.
Whatever happens, it's been a good start for McManus. You're not given all that many opportunities by Davis. And when they come along, you've really got to take full advantage. That's precisely what the 22-year-old from Glasgow has done so far.
42.
This will help matters, of course. He can neither stun the pink in and hold the spot, which means the pink will go up on the green spot, or play a little stun run through and move the red completely away from that pink spot. Looks like he's trying to hold the spot. Of course, now the green will go up, sorry, the pink will go up onto the green spot. Let's see if John Street can get this pink on that spot. Well, it looks very tight from there, doesn't it? No chance, not even the need of the marker to find out,
48.
so that really opens things up now for Alan McManus. He can get a good angle on the black. I expect him now to win the frame from this visit.
$49.
He certainly made this look easy. Admittedly, the balls have been invitingly placed for him, but in the first frame of the match, before you've got your cue arm going, it's often easy to squander these kind of chances.
56.
The choice of 2 reds, the left-hand one up for the blue, or the one nearest the cue ball into the same pocket for the black. Deciding to go up for the blue, but must make sure he gets the right side of the blue. Doesn't want to finish low.
57.
And he'll be ruining that choice now. No problem, of course, with the blue. The next red shouldn't be a problem, but the 2 reds just below the red he's going to play next, it's going to be an hard angle to get onto the black from. This is the big shot. He will surely win the frame if he pots this red. And of course needs one more colour to make that frame safe.
62. $63.
Just as black required for McManus, and Davis will need a snooker. Very solid performance in the first frame by the Scot.
No chance with the high break, of course, here. Only a possible 137 on the table. A little bit less now, 135 if he's going to take the blue. Highest break, of course, held by Ronnie O'Sullivan with that magnificent break of 140 in his quarter-final match yesterday against Peter Ebdon.
Yes, Willie, Ronnie took only 7 minutes to make that break, and on my calculations it was about 5 pots per minute, which works out at about a pot every 12 seconds. Quite remarkable.
77.
Of course, 17-year-old Sullivan also made the highest break of the pre-televised phase in Blackpool earlier last month, when he made a 142 total clearance. That's a tournament record. Well, he had the first chance, missed that. Red to the left top pocket, and this is the result. Just the kind of confidence-boosting start that McManus would have hoped for. The 84 break secures the frame, but I'm sure Davis will take the opportunity to try and clear these colours up. This will afford him some invaluable potting practice.
Yes, and we saw once again in that 84 break there, it was come to a premature conclusion when the ball on the cushion stuck right in the hole again. They had some massive breaks on these new tables, and we do like them, but they are a little bit tight.
8. 9.
'Although I mentioned before that McManus had won his last 2 meetings with Davis. Davis won the most important one, the final of the Irish Masters back in March.
16.
And he also beat McManus in the final of last year's Asian Open.
These are the kind of pots that have been causing us concern when you have to force the ball in. Let's see how he copes with this one. Well, we love them, don't we?
Steve Davis.
Yes, they are proving very troublesome, Willie. And the more the top professionals miss those kind of shots, the more their confidence will be drained. It's already getting to a situation where certain shots across the top cushion in particular are being refused.
7. 12. 18 and the frame.
You can't get much more solid than that. Alan McManus makes a very good start. 102 points to 24. He wins the first frame, including an 84 break. Alan McManus 1, Steve Davis 0.
You're watching Sky Sports. Sports. Liverpool face an all-star Great Britain team in a testimonial match for Anfield veteran Steve Nicol. Also donning the red shirt will be Liverpool legend Kenny Dalglish. While Great Britain boasts a star-studded lineup with the likes of Chris Waddle, Ryan Robson, Mark Hateley and Steve Bruce. The battle lines are drawn at Anfield for a match you won't want to miss. Liverpool versus Great Britain, Sunday at 3:30, live on Sky Sports.
There's one building society that's helped more people prepare for their future than any other. In fact, by providing saving schemes, bank accounts, and the chance to buy their first home, we've already helped millions of people get to where they want to go.
Drifters off to see the world. Moon River.
Get a little extra help from the Halifax.
A satisfying blend of cool, light dairy rice with a delicious serving of fruit. Eat a Muller rice and give hunger the heave-ho.
Only the Flymo garden vac is designed to pick up wet leaves. So easy, it's as if the garden lends a hand.
You know, if she booked on our cruises through Long Poly, she could save up to £200.
Get away.
Deep in the heart of Iraqi territory, an 8-man SAS unit embarked on the most dangerous mission of the Gulf War.
Bravo 20, we're moving in.
But something went wrong. Now, the leader of the patrol tells his story of capture and torture. Exclusive extracts only in the Mail on Sunday.
Oh, if you don't have the number to hand. With 5 sections, the Thompson Directory is bound to know.
What's your connection with this boat?
Sam!
I was his public defender.
Somebody's out there.
But you're shafting us on that, right?
I want you the hell off my property!
Do you have a daughter around 16?
Come out, wherever you are.
Hello?
What makes you think he wants to harm you?
I think we're alive now.
Where are you from?
I'm from the Black Forest. Maybe I'm a big bad wolf.
You're not gonna hurt me.
The premiere of Cape Fear, coming soon, Sky Movies.
Well, Alan McManus won the second frame nearly as impressively, 83-38, so he leads Steve Davis 2 frames to nothing, despite the fact that Alan's playing with an old cue you were telling me in the break.
Yes, it's a pretty inexpensive cue. Cues don't mean a lot, as Alan proves. His cue's probably not worth a fiver, but he tends to tape it up with masking tape quite a lot. There's a nice shot of his cue. You can pay £500 for a cue now, but it's what's behind the cue, and Alan's a very talented player, and sometimes I think he could play with a broom handle.
Steve Davis 2-0 down, but he's not a bad player when he's down, as he showed in the quarter-final.
Yes, Steve can motivate himself greatly. I can remember an experience of that a few years ago. I was lucky enough to be in the World Team Classic with partnering Steve and Jimmy White. We all had to play a few frames each. We were playing Australia in the final. We were 7-5 down, and we had 15 minutes before Steve had to go on and complete the match with 4 frames. And all of us had played pretty average during the day, but this was now the crunch. We were losing 7-5, first to 9. And I sat in the dressing room with Steve there, and he motivated himself brilliantly. He strode up and down the dressing room for 15 minutes, built himself up into more and more of a rage all the way. By the time he got out on the table, his eyes were bulging, and he wanted to win, and he played fabulous snooker, won the last 4 frames, and we were world team champions, so I was very proud.
Watch his eyes then. McManus then, 2 frames to nothing up. We join Davis at the table in frame 3. He's leading 6-1.
One.
That's played to perfection. And now, of course, he will know quite clearly himself this is the kind of chance he's going to have to take. Certainly can't afford to go 3 down against a player of Alan McManus's class.
Six.
So a similar problem for Steve here. Let's make sure he gets the right side of that blue again this time.
7.
If he can get rid of that red just above the black at some time, this would make it an awful lot easier to start scoring around that black spot area. Could risk the cannon onto the 2 reds. He's just looking at that angle now, whether if he plays the stun down off the blue and cannon into the 2 reds, he's bound to be on the black. Of course, he's got to be very, very careful. He does play the cannon, he doesn't snooker himself. Well, he's missed everything.
12.
I'm sure he played the cannon there, but it was missed. So now a little bit more work to do.
Davis made no breaks of substance in either his first 2 matches, although he beat Terry Murphy 5-0 and Darren Morgan 5-1. And he was also less than fluent in beating Doherty.
13.
Well, once again, he may have been unfortunate here. Looks mighty close to that red. Can he get through to the black? Well, he can, but he certainly can't gain position on the next red. So, because of that, may refuse to play the pot and play a safety. Let's have a look what he does. Now, just making sure of the 7 points. Now the safety coming up off the red.
20.
Thin clip off the right-hand side cushion between the middle pocket and the right-hand bulk pocket, and probably in behind green on the bulk cushion.
Steve Davis.
Big incentive, of course, for McManus in this match, apart from the fact that should he beat Davis, he'll go to number 2 in the provisional world rankings. It'll also be another chance to finally get a world ranking event title to his name, and the added bonus of maybe having an all-Scottish final with Stephen Hendry.
1.
Well, that's cueing at its best. If you don't hit that white ball in the middle from that distance, you have no chance with the pot. And he couldn't have played that better, and seems to be on the yellow. So he's only 24 points behind as we speak, so a big chance.
3.
The 4 reds on the right-hand side of the screen are going to cause him a little bit of a problem here with the cue ball. No problem, of course, with the red. Position part is made a little bit difficult by those 4 reds on the right. It's hard to get easy position off this shot. Can he negotiate a path through them or kiss one of them and stay on either pink or brown? Well, he got the path,
4.
and that's a great shot.
McManus has exploited every chance that's been given to him so far in this match. Made an 84 break in the opening frame. And an equally decisive 67 in the second.
Now he's got to hope he's got the right angle here on this red. The black doesn't seem to be available into the top right. It could be just on though. Oh, we saw some movement.
10, Alan McManus.
He doesn't look happy with that, does he? I think he was kind of suggesting that he wasn't comfortable on the shot and was a little bit crouched. That was a good chance for Alan to get back into this frame.
One.
Not a bad kiss, Willie. You only need a couple of those in every frame.
Yeah, I think actually Steve being watched by a lot of the locals here, really enthralled in this match so far. Going back to the kiss, I think Steve Neal was kissing into the brown and pink, and he didn't know the kiss was on that time on the green though.
7.
But like you say, sometimes those little kisses can make all the difference. First one a good one, that one certainly a bad one.
Yes, in the final analysis of a match, people often talk about the odd fluke here, or an in-off there, or maybe a fluke snooker, but often it's the little kisses that enable the player to continue a break, or the bad kisses that stop him from doing so, which make all the difference. Well, that was so advanced a plant, I can't really believe that he went at that wholeheartedly. Obviously, if he did, it was a 2-in-1 shot. What's your opinion on it, Willie?
Well, I'd like to talk to him at the interval, and I'm sure he'd come out with the fact that he didn't play it. He knew that he was obviously hitting the red in the direction of the pocket. The added bonus, of course, if he did make the plant, he would be on the green. It might have been subconscious in his mind, but I certainly don't think he went wholeheartedly for the plant. But what a great
11.
shot that is. That's really opened things up for him now. And if he gets a nice angle on the black, should be big favourite to take this third frame.
12. $19. $20.
You're just checking whether he plays the cannon into the 2 reds, whether it'll be on the right-hand side of the 3 reds into the opposite pocket. And also, if he finishes dead on the cuss, can he pot the one nearest the pocket? Well, that's a great shot.
27. $28.
The black puts Davis 50 in front if he gets it. But there's still 59 on the
35.
table and the break at an end.
Yes, little frown of disbelief there to see that Steve's overscrewed that by a couple of 3 inches. That was a big problem for Steve Davis in his match with Ken Doherty. He had a lot of trouble in screwing the ball. He said his tip was a little bit hard. He's obviously done a little bit of work on that because the screw shots he's played today really has got into the cue ball well. So he's certainly done something to his tip to liven that part of the game up. Problem facing Steve here, the automatic safety shot, the gap between the 2 reds and the black and back into baulk is no problem. But he doesn't want to bring both reds out into play because the other red's going to cannon into the other red on the cushion here. And that's his problem. He wants to leave one of those reds on that side cushion. Well, it's not the worst shot I've ever seen, but it's certainly in the top 3.
Steve Davis.
Yes, Willie, it's right up there with that missed blue you had in the UK Championship final when you played Steve.
Well, he's had a little look up to me there, and he once again knows we're talking about him, and he just threw the towel he's using just straight onto the table.
One.
Well, 1 red still on the side cushion, but suddenly McManus in with a chance to pull this 3rd frame right out of the fire.
Yes, he was thinking of winning this frame at that visit with the way he played that first shot. One good positional shot here, shouldn't be any problem getting on the 2 reds next to the blue. Well, what is happening here?
1, Alan McManus.
I don't think I've ever seen him miss 2 easy balls like that all season. Both times cueing difficult, but I would expect him to pot those 9 out of 10.
One.
50 the difference now. 43 on the table, and Davis in fine position to take at least another red in the colour.
6.
Great shot to open the last red.
7. 12. 13.
It's not very often that you can say when you're playing our game that a bad shot has won you the frame. It's amazing. Steve must have thought he'd almost cost himself the frame with that
15.
loose safety shot just 2 or 3 shots ago. But now back at the table and the frame already
17.
won.
$20. Steve Davis and the frame.
Steve Davis, who played the role of spectator for the first two frames, finally gets one on the board. 35 break early on, sets him up for that. And now it's Alan McManus 2, Steve Davis 1.
You're watching Sky Sports.
Do you remember the glory years of British boxing? We do.
Crowd is rising to its feet and roaring as we come to the end. And at the very death, Finnegan threatens to pull it out.
Every Monday, we look back at the classic bouts from a golden era. This week, former world light heavyweight champion John Conte features in Ringside Super Bouts. Monday at 10:15 on Sky Sports.
He's had a drink.
We could be in for a quintessential tango taste sensation here. Ooh. Good, great story!
I'm lost for words, Ralph.
It just illustrates the bite and buzz of real oranges.
Smashing.
From just £9 a month, Bupa will put you under less pressure than your next footstep. Ring 0800 600 500.
From a Mexican salsa to a Caribbean Creole to an Indonesian satay, let Sharwood's simple sauces put your cooking on the map.
Old Spice. Feel the freshness hit.
Kellogg's Fruit and Fiber has so many delicious combinations, you're never tired of the taste.
Oh, no, we've run out of milk.
Tell Willie I've sent George to get some from those French blokes outside.
I'm back.
Kellogg's Fruit and Fiber. You never tire of the taste.
There's never been an Esso shop like this before. At our very latest Esso snack and shops, you can tuck into freshly fried chips, cool down with a freshly frozen low-fat yogurt, load up with freshly cooked pizzas and pastries, and always be sure of fresh surprises and a warm welcome all day long. Esso Snack and Shop, a new generation of shop.
I'm not going to overthrow the government. I'm not about to make a revolution.
Once a king, always a king. In a unique profile, Selina Scott follows ex-king Constantine of Greece during his extraordinary homecoming tour. Back once only since the coup of 1967, the moment of his return in '93 revived affection for the monarchy, but caused an outraged government to react with force. Join Selina Scott on board the Greek royal family's yacht in this two-part special report, Sunday at 6:30 and Monday at 7:30, Sky News.
Steve Davis, sure enough, he's back in it, 2 frames to 1 down now. Now, there's a key shot midway through this frame we're going to have a look at. The commentators were eulogising about it, but, Neal, you're not so sure here.
No, well, I've watched Steve address this shot here, and he ends up playing a plant. Now, he hasn't once lined the shot up. I don't think he played it. I think he's more concerned about getting the white back to bulk. And if you see him now, he doesn't once go round to the 2 balls and look at the line of them, as you would do normally with a plant. You tend to look down the line of the shots as if he was potting one red onto the other red. And he never seems to do that, and I think he's concerned more about getting the white round the table off 1, 2, 3, 4 pushing. The crowd loved it, and it was possibly a frame winner, but I don't believe he played it.
All right. I'll take that from you. It looked all right from me, but what do I know?
Yeah, it's just a question of seeing players line shots up, that's all. But he was doing no damage if he'd missed it, but it turned out to be, I think, a tremendous fluke. Maybe he'll tell me off about it later on, but I don't think he played it.
All right, he might do. Well, Davis won the fourth frame to level it up, 2 frames apiece. He won that 71 to 26. We're going to join it in frame 5. Davis leading 28-11 at the table.
The first 4 frames took 95 minutes to complete. Another tactical battle ensuing here. Best of 11 frames, of course, the semi-finals have been extended to. So obviously, a long, grueling struggle in prospect. Okay, Willie, what would you do here?
Well, you certainly be playing it into very, very slowly. There's no real problem about playing into the one nearest the black. If he plays it the dead weight, he's not going to leave anything easy on for Steve Davis. But of course, if he doesn't reach, it's going to be called a miss. Well, I wouldn't have played for this one because he's going to leave a pot on playing for that one. Albeit a shot that I'm sure that Steve might refuse as he leads by 18 points. He'd like to keep it a little bit tight for the moment. If he does attempt the pot, of course, he will be playing up towards for the blue or green. And these pockets are very, very tight, so he's got to hit this one good. Well, that's a great shot. He took the bull by the horns there and decided to play for the pink. And that was an exceptional shot.
Seven. Eight. $14.
Looks as though the red nearest the black will possibly pot into the top right-hand pocket. Obviously very tight.
15.
Well, he can't get on it from this one, so just drop on the bottom red of the 3.
$21.
The lead 39. So still 2 more reds and colours required. And it's going to be difficult to win this frame now in this visit. He's going to have to play a good shot to get a good angle on the next colour to be able to get onto a red.
22.
Now does the black pot. If it pots, he can stun it in and get the half-ball cannon on the red and play for the red in the same pocket. He knows that he only needs 1 more red after that little glance at the scoreboard. There you see it, little soft screw shot. And that should seal the 5th frame.
29. 30.
Useful contribution, this, from what was no more than a half chance.
$37. 38.
It's amazing, Phil, how quickly Steve Davis does play once he's got past the winning post. He seems to change into another gear.
45.
Yes, in successive frames, Davis has improved upon his highest break of the match. Made a 35
46.
In the 3rd frame, a 43 in the 4th, and now this blue will give him his first half century.
51. 53. 56. 60. 65. Oh.
Look at that funny side there. And again.
71.
Will it be a trick shot on the black to finish?
You should know better, Willie. Not from this man. 78 break from Steve Davis. Very good clearance. And he takes the lead for the first time. Steve Davis 3, Alan McManus 2.
You're watching Sky Sports.
Tuesday at 9 on the eve of England's crucial match in Holland. Graham Taylor talks exclusively to Martin Tyler in a Footballers Football Show special.
A lot of people say, well, this is the one that matters.
You're not wrong there, Graham. After Sky Soccer News at 10, we find out if there's life after Clough. The new man in charge at Forest, Frank Clark, is the boss.
I mean, the only pressure I'm under here is to get this club back into the Premier League as quickly as possible.
A Graham Taylor special, Sky Soccer News and the boss, Tuesday on Sky Sports.
The 1994 World Cup will be played in America. Teams from around the world will compete all across the United States. When the World Cup chose its official airline, they named American Airlines, the airline that knows all of America. Without changing airlines, you can fly American to over 200 U.S. cities. No other airline knows America better than American.
You know, when I saw this new roll-up design, I thought, that is really clever.
Tessa Whitbourne has discovered Always Ultra with new Easy Wrap. Just unwrap the pouch and peel off the towel. After use, roll it up and seal it.
Well, it meant that if I was on the dance floor dancing away, I could just go to the toilet, change it, roll it up, chuck it away, and be done in 2 minutes. You know, put on a bit of lipstick, and then I was ready to go out and have a good time again, and it was sort of like a pit stop.
Always dry weave top sheet lets moisture flow into the towel, but virtually none back out, so the surface stays really fresh and dry.
If something is simple, hygienic, efficient, and does the job when you're wearing it and keeps you fresh and dry, then it's got to be pretty good.
Always Ultra with new Easy Wrap. All you feel is fresh and dry with a lot less fuss.
We want your business to save money.
Prove it.
We've cut the cost of your next new line by over 1/3. And our pricing packages contain discounts on every call you make. For more ways to save money, call us now on BT free phone 0800 800 800. BT. We want your business.
Welcome to a city in the heart of the country. We're at the busiest places. People are specially employed to make sure you don't get lost. Where tea may be served at 4, at 6, even at 8. Where every table has a window seat. Welcome to a city by the sea, where the pebbles stretch for thousands of miles. Welcome to Intercity.
Star of Queen, Halle Berry.
Queen is the product of an interracial relationship. Her mother was a slave woman, a black woman, and her father was white. And the story is about her struggle to find herself and to fit in a world when slavery had just been abolished. So it was her struggle to find herself and to also look for love. It's a triumphant story.
Alex Haley's Queen premieres October the 10th on Sky One.
Steve Davis went on to take frame 6, 81-53, to lead 4 frames to 2. I want to concentrate on something back in frame 5. The commentators were really going strong about a shot along the bottom cushion, and Neal You agree with him. To me, this just doesn't look such a difficult shot, a club player shot, but not...
Well, maybe on club tables. Some snooker clubs have large pockets, and a shot like that would be virtually unmissable for a professional, but these are extremely tight pockets, and he had to be deadly accurate. If he'd have touched one of the jaws of that corner pocket, probably the ball would have stayed out and hung over the pocket, which we've seen quite a lot this week. But Steve played it beautifully, position on the pink, frame over.
OK, 4-2 now. McManus really up against it. He's come back 3 times. Can he do it a 4th?
Oh, yes, he's very capable. He's got an excellent temperament. There's no question he's good enough to come back from behind. He's got to find some form quick, though.
Sure he has. Davis is in the driving seat. We're joining frame 7 then. Davis 4-2 up. He's leading 23-0. McManus leading 23-0 in the 7th frame. It's Davis at the table.
Looks like another very thin clip from Davis. And that's obviously why John Street, looking down the line of the shot, making sure that he can actually see a ball on. Looks as though McManus may just have a gap through there.
And if he can play it cushion first, he may be able to get round the back of the pink. He's playing it cushion first and got round the back. Good shot.
1.
Pink spot is obviously covered, and Alan was just looking to see whether the brown was sufficiently enough of its spot for the pink to go up there. I think Alan would actually prefer it down behind its own spot if that doesn't fit in there. Black's a little bit difficult at the moment. It must be very, very close. Of course, it can't be touching. It's nice to see John Street doing a bit of hard work.
8.
Good angle for McManus, and there's the man in question, John Street, one of the most experienced international referees on the circuit. Been in charge of many leading games, including a number of World Championship finals.
13.
The lead goes to 37. And the red just above the black is now available. So whenever he gets the opportunity to play that, he'll be down on that red. A couple more blues to take first.
Oh,
that wasn't one of his best, but still in position. It's just a case of getting the weight right with this shot. Choice of 5 reds you can play for, 3 in the top left, the 3 that are together, or the 2 in the top right.
.23.
That was a loose shot from Alan. This red is still potable, but the angle he's got makes it slightly more difficult. Well, the difficulty has been proven.
Well, that was a surprising miss, but McManus has made some mistakes in the last few frames.
1. One, Steve Davis.
Well, Davis's turn to miss what looked to be a pretty simple pot, and worse still for the 6 times world champion. He's actually gained perfect position on the red above the black.
One. Eight.
53 the difference, so getting to the point where Davis will need a snooker.
9.
The blue puts McManus 59 ahead, but obviously the positional potential playing off the yellow greater.
$11.
And now the world number 6 just requires one more red. And Steve Davis
12.
needs a snooker.
$19. 20.
This time, good angle on the blue, just to drop down for the 2 remaining reds. And should he pot one of those 2 reds, I'm sure that even if he misses after that, Steve Davis will
25.
concede. So it's a good performance from Alan McManus. He's been kept out in the cold for the last 4 frames, apart from the previous frame where he had a chance to pinch
26.
it. So he'll be quite happy with the scoreline now.
$33. 33 and the frame, Alan McManus.
Alan McManus finally breaks a 4-frame losing streak. Right back in there in contention now. Steve Davis 4, Alan McManus 3.
You're watching Sky Sports.
Wednesday night on Sky Sports, a live ringside special. Darren Fifield, the rising star of British boxing, meets Danny Porter for the vacant Commonwealth flyweight title at the York Hall Bethnal Green. Take your seat at ringside. Wednesday at 10:15 live on Sky Sports.
Stargazer Barbara reveals Mega TV!
What does the future hold for you this month for Mega CT?
Capricorn!
What future? Try harder or you'll be choppered, burnt out. What they putting you back?
Aquarius!
You're in deep water and back to down the pan. Aries, no, game over.
Shut the ball!
You're dead meat. You'll end up a collection of matching leather accessories. Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Ditto.
Scorpio!
Good times, making movies, bands, babe, it's my fine.
But not the year.
Sagittarius. This month you're a twisted arrow spinning in a twilight sky. Let's face it, you're shot.
To be Mega CD takes Sega!
Don't you dare walk on my clean floor.
Kids will do anything for Dairy Lee.
Only in the Sunday Times, the Thatcher Memoirs. And in an exclusive interview, Mrs. Thatcher gives her side of the story. The Sunday Times is the Sunday papers.
Young and hard.
What better time to buy a new Golf? Call 0800 333 666 for full written details.
Welcome to a city where people always have the time for strangers. Where your seat can be reserved. Where bacon rolls at 100 miles an hour. Where the locals don't just tell you the way, they take you there. Where the wine is chilled and the welcome is warm. Welcome to Intercity.
Sky News Business Sunday.
Each week we'll speak to the opinion makers from the world of high finance, the men and women whose decisions today will affect all of us tomorrow. We'll look at the real stories behind the headlines and advise you on where your money's going. Join me, James Bellini, and the Sky business team for the best inside track on today's global markets.
Business Sunday, 8:30 a.m. on Sky News.
Alan McManus has come back against Joe Swale, against Martin Clark, and against Andy Hicks. Perhaps he's making his move now against Steve Davis. It's Davis 4, McManus 3. And one thing these two have got in common, they never know when they're beaten.
No, in a best of 9 or 11 frame match, if you go 2 or 3 frames behind, it's quite easily in your subconscious to get bad vibes about the day and think maybe it isn't your day. These two guys won't entertain thoughts like that, and that's why they're big fighters, and they never know when they're beat until the time they shake hands and say well done to the other guy.
On to frame 8 we go then. McManus trailing 4 frames to 3. He's just had a break of 33. Davis is at the table.
One.
Now, he'll be quite pleased to see the kiss he got there. He played round the back of the black to put the black into the same pocket as the red. But with the pot he played, he deserved a little bit of luck there. It was a great red.
8.
Since the interval, Willie, I'm sure you'll agree Davis has seemed a whole lot more positive. I know he lost that last frame, but he does seem to be treating the game more aggressively, and his shot selections are reflecting that.
It's very rare you can tell from Steve Davis the way he feels, because he's usually kind of pan-faced at all
9.
times. I'd hate to have to play poker with him. But this week he's kind of showed it in his face, and even when he was 4-2 behind against Doherty, you could see him really grit his face and really get down to it, and that's what he's done since the interval. And he looks a completely different player to what he did in the first 4 frames. You can see the total concentration in his face at the moment.
Well, that's got to be one of the best positional shots of the match so far.
16.
Weaved it in and out of bulk, and perfect position on the red to screw back up for the blue.
17.
Well, once again, he's got completely the wrong side of the blue. And that can only be over the years of playing with one, you know, we've mentioned many times in commentary, he has changed his cue. And the weight, even though it probably weighs exactly the same as his old cue, it wouldn't probably hit the same. And all the hours practice he's put in with this new cue, he's obviously very, very pleased with it to still be playing with it. But every now and again he plays shots that was quite strange. You'd very rarely see Steve Davis finish the wrong side of the blue. So he's still in the learning process with this new piece of equipment he's got there. Still got the joint in, as he did with his last cue. Still made by the same manufacturer.
Yes, in fact, Davis's original cue
22
was a one-piece which was made into a two-piece, and I, for one, wouldn't have liked to have performed the operation on it.
$23.
And this time, perfect angle on green. This is a situation, once again, we've been talking about many times. There is one loose red he can play for, but I feel the angle is absolutely perfect to be able to break those 4 or 5 reds out. It's easier probably to play the cannon into the reds than it is to get the position on the one red. That's what he's played, and that time, well, that has been very unlucky there. That is probably the only kiss that's going to give him a more difficult pot than he deserved. And this red is not easy. Ah, it's a great shot. Good recovery.
Yes, played with a touch of running side as well to get the angle on the black.
$34.
Yes, he's got that determined look about him, Willie, as you said before.
$35.
And this time the absolute perfect angle to be able to cannon into the three reds just above the black. As long as he doesn't kiss that front red full ball, he's bound to be on one. No, he kissed it full ball.
42.
Well, we've seen more gestures from Steve Davis at the table this week than I think I've seen in the last 5 years. Showing his annoyance at that one. If Davis were to win this match, of course, and get through to the final, his opponent there would either be 17-year-old Ronnie O'Sullivan, the former world junior champion, or his biggest rival, Stephen Hendry. And coincidentally, in the 1990 final here, Hendry inflicted one of Davis's heaviest ever defeats. Hendry beat Davis 9-1.
Well, he looked at this shot long and hard. He really wants to play the double, but he just feels the way he's playing, he can win the frame if he plays that shot. Playing the safety shot, there's no easy way. It's almost impossible for him to get a snooker without manoeuvring one or two reds out into the open. The thin safety shot down into baulk would leave Alan McManus an easy safety shot back again. That's why he's pondering over this decision. It's almost impossible to gain a snooker from this shot.
42, Steve Davis.
And of course, he's just gaining no advantage now from that shot. And if Alan McManus flicks this red in, it could win him the frame.
Well, he's got the red, Willie, and a good angle on the yellow as well to get down towards these reds. Could even take the brown.
Just shows you how advanced Steve Davis thinks. He knew the possibility of that happening. That's why he studied so long and hard over that safety shot. He really would have loved to carry the break forward. And the little flick on the brown didn't help him there. That left that red on for Alan McManus. But it was a great first red. And should he gain position, he once again would have a chance of pinching it.
3.
The middle red passes. Leaning over the table, though these are always missable.
Alan McManus.
The one thing you don't expect from Alan McManus is to miss a succession of relatively easy shots, and that's what he's done in the second half of this match.
1.
Marginal swerve from Davis. He's now in prime position.
And Steve's going to be so relieved. He must have felt that when McManus knocked that long red in, it was going to cost him the frame. And as you rightly say, it's unusual to see Alan McManus miss easy balls. But he's certainly missed a lot of easy balls today. And in fairness, should he go on to lose this match, it's not the fact that Davis has outplayed him, it's the fact that he's missed. He's certainly had equal opportunities as Steve Davis. Just missed a couple of vital balls.
15. $16.
22 the difference. So the blue would mean that McManus required the 6 colours to tie.
21.
But Davis is in good position on the yellow, and it looks as though 5-3 is just around the corner.
$23.
No attempt to play the yellow with check side, knowing it was virtually frame ball. Of course, with only
23.
one snooker
Steve
required,
Davis.
this frame's not over yet. He probably now wishes he'd committed himself with the yellow and played for the green.
Could be Davis who plays the snooker here.
Oh, this is a good chance for Alan McManus to get the white in behind the black. Half ball, a little bit of check side to slow the white down. Side cushion, top cushion. Well, I can't believe what I'm watching here. Why on earth he played to pot the green, I don't know.
Yes, it defies explanation, Willie. Conventional snooker, as you say, from green behind the black.
Three.
32 the difference now, and Alan McManus must realise that this 8th frame has slipped from his grasp.
Three. Steve Davis. Four. Nine.
What a good positional shot.
$15. $15 in the frame.
The story of frame 8, quite simple. McManus squandered his chances, Davis didn't. Steve Davis pulls 2 frames ahead with 3 to play. Steve Davis 5, Alan McManus 3.
You're watching Sky Sports.
If you've got the spirit for adventure, Sky Sports will take you away to the action world of water sports. All the speed and exhilaration of top competition from home and afar. In association with Samsung cameras, you can experience a piece of the action. Water Sports World, Thursday at 5 on Sky Sports.
When you've got a miserable cold, trust new Lemsip Menthol Extra. The traditional hot lemon drink, now available with added menthol vapors. Take comfort. Take Lemsip.
Old Spice. Feel the freshness hit.
What happens
when you play this set of CDs. These are all the songs that make you feel great when you hear them on the radio. They're on Young at Heart, a collection of all the best singles you've never bought. But it's only available from Sounds Direct by post, so get a pen ready. Ultravox, ABC, Duran Duran, Cyndi Lauper, the Boomtown Rats and the Pretenders, as well as a lot of hits that are no longer available. Remember Buggles, Trio, Nana and Paul Hardcastle? This collection of 60 original hits is only available on a 4-CD set for just $29.99, or 4 cassettes for only $25.99, including postage and packing. To get your copy, call now. Young at Heart from Sounds Direct. Sounds you can't afford to miss.
How's business in the big league? We're killing them.
William Hurt is the extraordinary doctor.
I know about pain. I'm a doctor.
Doctor, you have a growth.
Who becomes an ordinary patient.
Now you're going to fiddle a little prick. Please, doctor, we've only just met.
I bet you feel like you don't know what's going on.
You're breaking my heart, Jack.
Well, don't worry, they don't know either.
The system stinks.
Bite it.
A movie that makes you feel like every doctor should. Good. The Doctor premieres Sunday night at 10, Sky Movies.
Alan McManus has won the last 3 frames against Joe Swale and against Andy Hicks, but now he has to do so against Steve Davis, who leads 5 games to 3, just 1 frame away from the final. McManus making quite a few mistakes here, and one the commentators pointed out, and I know Neal wants to have a look at, the what we thought was going to be a snooker, but he goes for the pot here on the green.
Yeah, there doesn't appear to be any rhyme or reason why he actually played to pot that green. Surely the more obstacles in the way of other balls on the table is in his favour, but for some reason he decided to pot the green. We've seen that 2 or 3 times this week from other players. Makes no real sense to me. Maybe Alan's got some kind of logic behind it. Willie Thorne didn't like it either, did he, the commentator?
No. Willie says 1 or 2 things about other players, but that's Willie. Alan, though, does need to pick his game up, doesn't he?
Yes, he's got to find some inspiration from somewhere. He's struggling now a little bit. He's missed 1 or 2 balls. And he's going to have to pick up somewhere, speed the game up maybe, because he's getting a little bit bogged down by the game at the moment.
OK. He has to pounce now. Davis leading 5 frames to 3, and it's Davis to break at the top of frame 9.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Quiet, please. The 9th frame, Steve Davis to break.
Davis requires only 1 more frame to reach the final. McManus needs all of the remaining 3. McManus, of course, beaten in the semi-final by John Parrott last year as well. Should Steve Davis win this match, of course, and go on to win the £40,000 first prize, it would quite remarkably be his 27th ranking event title. Been in countless other finals as well. What a consistent performer over the years.
Well, we've seen some loose safety shots in this match from both players. And when it's a little bit damp, you've really got to cue down on the cue ball to get the action on the white. And he certainly didn't get any action on that ball. McManus, I mean, with the safety shot. Now is Davis going to be forced into playing this difficult black? If it goes in, it could be frame and match winner. And when you pot balls like that, you deserve to win frame and match.
Yes, Willie, no applause from the crowd, but that was probably one of the most important, one of the best executed shots of the whole match so far.
9.
Well, 6 or 7 loose reds. Hardly any work to do with the cue ball. It's very hard to see Steve not compiling a 30 or 40 break or better here. So this is as good an opportunity as you're going to get into the final. As you rightly say,
13.
after 27 major ranking tournament victories, he's used to situations like this.
$17. $18.
Well, that one wiped its feet, but looks as though he's okay. A little bit straight on the blue, but there's plenty of options.
I think he was probably trying to pinch a little bit of the pocket to make sure he stayed kind of balk side of the blue, but didn't achieve that. Still those couple of reds in the balk area that are easily obtainable, so no worries up to now. And one good pot, be back in prime position.
24.
Now I'll be coming down to the business end of the table after this shot. Round the 2 cushions and onto the black.
29.
And now it's hard to see where McManus is going to get back to the table unless we have a bad miss.
$36.
Well, he can count himself fortunate there. Didn't play that kiss. But it's turned out almost inch perfect for him.
Yes, it does turn out very, very nicely, that. That red, of course, clears the pink spot.
37.
Not that he'll want to play to get on the pink at the moment with the reds where they're situated. The 2 reds just to the left of the pink spot now both pot into the same pocket as you're going to attempt the black. Without being in devastating break-building form, Steve Davis has made a break of 30 or above in the 5 frames he's won so far, and of course already over 30 in this break. So it's not always 100 breaks you need to win matches.
44.
It's just consistent breaks of 30 or above. And once again he's playing a red that he didn't play for and missed it by the proverbial mile. Oh, at least I thought he'd missed it by the proverbial mile. I mean, he missed it by 45. So far that he fluked it into the green pocket. Oh, that's cruel, isn't it?
Well, it's cruel for McManus, Willie. I'm sure Steve Davis isn't too bothered.
$52.
And you'd have to think now that, barring accidents, Steve Davis will make a big enough break to secure his place in the final.
$53.
Well, this black is not as easy as it looks with this tricky queuing over the red. Got to be careful with this one. Wiped its feet, but I think that's end of frame and match.
60.
In saying that, it's a little bit more difficult than I first thought. There's still a little bit more work to do. For the fourth time in the match, Steve Davis's little 3-inch extension being applied to the cue. And will it be 4 out of 4 when he's used that extension?
61.
5 reds on the table, so this black would leave McManus needing a snooker.
$68. $69.
Well, could finish with a century here, Davis. Of course, very
76.
fortunate with the fluke in the middle of the break. Intended the pot of
77.
course into the middle pocket and ended up in the bulk pocket. But after losing the first
84.
2 frames so convincingly to breaks of 84 and 67 from McManus,
85.
it's been a very good performance from Davis.
Of course, Alan will be very disappointed,
92.
Phil. He has brought down his own problems here with a series of
93.
relatively easy misses. He never really likes travelling abroad, Alan. He loves to stay at home and play.
98.
But he's such a great player, Alan McManus. This is another bit of
99.
learning process for him. And of course, this has been a great century break from Steve Davis, albeit in the middle of it a fluke.
103.
That actually puts Davis back to the top of the century break chart. 209
104.
to 208 breaks by Hendry. They're going head-to-head in the top of that list.
107.
Been very close for a couple of months now, and temporarily at least puts Davis back to the top of the list.
111. 116. 122.
The fluke bird was lucky, but apart from that, a spectacular finish from Steve Davis. A 129 total clearance in the last frame of the match, and he's now into the final of the first ranking event of the season. There he'll play Stephen Hendry or Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Wonderful, wasn't it? From 2 frames to nothing down against Alan McManus. Steve Davis wins 6 frames to 3. He's into the final. We'll be talking to Steve right after this break.
You're watching Sky Sports.
Cogs and wheels working in harmony. A finely tuned machine with all the moves in attack and defense. And at the heart of the football-playing machine is the game plan, the tactics discussed and practiced. Join Andy Gray and his guest expert in the boot room as they examine team tactics. Thursday night at 8, Sky Sports.
To demonstrate the new Hoover Turbo Power 1000, we borrowed a few stones. The Hoover Turbo Power 1000's unique AutoSense device turns up the power when it comes across grit. Returning to normal power when everything's picked up. So you know that your carpet is clean.
Which would you expect to pay more for, regular or Ultra Lenore? A big bottle of regular will soften all this washing for your money. But if you use Ultra's handy little cap, you can actually soften just as many loads with one tiny bottle of Ultra Lenore. Ah, but, I hear you say, doesn't Ultra Lenore cost more? Surprisingly not. Ultra Lenore actually costs less. Ultra Lenore, why pay more?
What better time to buy a new polo? Call 0800 333 666 for full written details.
Starting this Sunday, only in the Sunday Times, the book that has sparked off a storm of controversy and speculation, the memoirs of Mrs. Thatcher. In her own words, 11 turbulent years of world history. The truth about her relations with cabinet ministers, her views on Europe, the secret meetings behind closed doors with world leaders, the Downing Street years, the extraordinary inside story in the one paper you'd expect to bring you history in the making. The Sunday Times is the Sunday papers.
When Sharp asked us to try out their new view cam, naturally we jumped at the chance. This screen's a great idea because you don't end up stuck behind a viewfinder. You can point it just about anywhere, so you don't miss any of the fun. I found I could even film myself. And with the view cam's instant playback, we all enjoyed what I'd shot before we flew off. The Sharp view cam's so easy to use. I can, you can, we can, view cam.
Don't get cold under the collar if you know the name but not the number. With 5 sections, the Thompson Directory is bound to know.
On the Book Show, with an American classic travel writer, Paul Theroux. Keeping it simple, super chef Alistair Little, plus American mega-seller Robert Waller, and the highly acclaimed, twice-nominated for the Booker Prize, Margaret Atwood. Last but not least, with his follow-up to Presumed Innocent, novelist Scott Turow.
Hi, I'm Scott Turow. Meet me on the Book Show this week with Pleading Guilty.
For a good read, join them all on the Book Show, Sunday night, 7:30 on Sky News.
So Steve Davis, a 6-3 winner over Alan McManus. He's through to the final of the Dubai Duty Free Classic. He's talking now with Willie Thorne.
Well, after many years of watching you being a fast starter, you must be getting quite accustomed to being a couple of frames behind before you start.
Yes, I think it's, as you get a bit older, you start to take a bit of time to get into it, settle down. I'm not that worried about that situation, although I'd like it to be that you could sort of start off immediately well. But I feel as if once I get into the game, I can get in a rhythm.
McManus started tremendously well with breaks of 84 and 63 in the first 2 frames. You must have wondered what had hit you at that time.
I didn't think I was going to get a shot, and he continued in the next frame for about the first couple of reds, and I thought, well, if he plays like this, good luck to him. He's just steamrollering me. And then he played a ball into the corner pocket. From where I was sitting, it had already gone past the fall of the slate. It wobbled 2 or 3 or 4 times and came back out again. And from then on, I got my nose into the game and sort of prized myself an opening, and was very fortunate and quite pleased to be 2-all at the interval.
Yeah, it's a big stepping stone, isn't it, to come out of the interval knowing that you've battled well to get back into it, and then of course going forward 2 in front.
But I think being 2-all at the interval gave me the springboard to open up a bit in the second half. Things went my way as well, and I got off very quickly the next couple of frames. I think Alan missed a chance to go 3-all, and it went to 4-2, and then I decided that whatever happened for the rest of the match, I was going to continue at the pace I'd have played at the second half and try and play as fluently as possible, disengage my brain a bit, don't think too much about what was happening, and see if I could get over the finishing line.
It's been very noticeable, Steve, the last couple of years I've been commentating and playing against you. When you are playing well, you do tend to speed up a little bit. Is this something you've been working on?
Well, I think it's not something I've been working on, but I think possibly the longer you've been in snooker, possibly the older you get, the more difficult it is to play well. And I think also the more difficult it is to think and play well. It seems a strange thing to say, but I think possibly it might be in my interest to play at a slightly faster speed to somewhat disengage the brain, not too much, just to get the right balance.
Something we can all try then, I think.
Well, I don't know. I think you've been doing a very good job of playing at a good speed all your career. And that's, if you get into a rhythm, you can flow. It's just when things aren't going right, I think possibly I need to slow down a bit. But if I get going, possibly I can play a bit faster than people think I can. So it's not a deliberate ploy. It's just I'm trying to give what talent I have the best chance possible in the modern game.
Well, we must congratulate you on today's game and a mouth-watering prospect whoever you play in the final.
That's right. It should be a bit of a battle tonight, and I'm certainly looking forward to it. I really haven't got a problem who I play. They're both very, very dangerous, and we'll have to wait and see who wins.
I suppose it would be nice in one respect to see the kind of the old master, as it were. Not calling you an old master really, but you have been in the game a lot longer than somebody like Ronnie O'Sullivan. It would be nice to see the old master versus the young pupil, wouldn't it, in a final?
Well, I don't know about a pupil. He's learnt very quickly for his young 17 years, and he's a big handful, and all the players, I think, are aware of that. Stephen Hendry will be treating him with a great deal of respect, but you don't want to treat him with too much respect, otherwise you get blasted off the table. You've got to try play your own game anyway. And the two players in the semi-final are the ones I'm going to meet. You've got to play, otherwise you're dead.
Possibility of your 27th ranking title, Steve. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Interesting that. Sorry, Steve. But it was interesting, particularly the way he was saying he's trying to play at a quicker pace.
Yes, he made a long-winded thing. I must admit, he lost me, actually, once or twice during that. Steve can talk himself into a hole, and I think he did for a while there. I think what he was basically trying to say was that the quicker you play, sometimes the less you have to think about the game. Which is true. You look at shots for hours and hours, it seems, in your mind when it's only seconds, and then you're looking at things that can go wrong. But he played pretty well, didn't he, overall?
He did, and what gets me is his amazing commitment. He's won everything, 6 times world champion, but he's still mustard keen, as we saw against Ken Doherty particularly. Yes,
I mean, he's won 26 ranking events and a whole host of other invitation events throughout the world. And yet he seemed to want it as much, if not more, than Alan tonight. And that must say a lot for his strength of character and his will to win, mustn't it?
Alan McManus, he's got a problem now. He keeps getting so close, and that's it.
It's a ticklish problem at the moment. I mean, he's doing well, he's consistent, he's doing the business, getting to semis and finals. So it's not so much as a problem as other players that aren't winning at all. But, yes, he needs to get a victory under his belt. I think he knows that. But in an interview earlier in the week, he said he's not bothered. He thinks he's doing well. His ranking's very good. He's, I think, provisionally 4 or 5 in the world on next year. So he hasn't got that much to worry about. But yes, he would like to get over the winning line.
Perhaps he treats the top players with a bit too much respect?
Possibly. Also, the way he plays, he has to try very hard. We all do, obviously. Sometimes I wonder if he uses all his resources up in the early rounds, gets to the semis or the final, and he's run out of puff, if you like. Mentally, he's got nothing more to give. That's a possibility, but, you know, he hasn't really got problems, has he? He's doing well, he's a fabulous player.
He sure is. But it's Davis who's through to the final. Who'll he play? Well, we've got a cracking match for you for your Sunday lunch tomorrow afternoon. The